Welcome to Let's Connect. It is now 8 p.m. on Tuesday. It is Tuesday, the 19th of November. Welcome to our program. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for keeping it locked to 88.5 SoufriereFM. I am your host, Reneata Dusauzay. We have a wonderful guest tonight. But first off, let's give a shout out to all our wonderful communities in Soufriere. I want to big up all the communities who participated this last few weeks with Kudme Soufriere. I want to give a big shout out to the SRDF as well, who participated, as well as the Soufriere Constituency Council, Kudme Soufriere, which has taken place over the last few weeks because of lack of cement and because of the rain. There were holdups in various areas, but kudos to all the communities. Big shout out to Zeno, Belle Plaine, Bouton, who did this very recently. We want to shout out New Development. We want to shout out the community of Monlacqua, who had a wonderful Kudme as well. We want to give a special shout out to Sulphur Springs tonight for their Kudme, the Fossejac Development Committee as well for their Kudme in Fossejac. Wonderful effort from everybody involved. So shout out to all of you who participated in the various Kudme activities in whatever way you could, who donated services, time, food, water, whatever you were able to do. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so very much for everything you did in regards to Kudme Soufriere. Shout out to the entire community of Fossejac. Let's give a shout out to Espérance, St. Philip, Boisden. We want to shout out Belvedere. We want to shout out Mocha, Mini. Everybody in Fossejac, good night to you. Ravin Claire, good night to you. We want to shout out coming down. We want to shout out Crestland, Zeno. We want to give a special shout out to New Development, Palmis. We want to give a shout out to Forbenier as well, Wingsville, where we're at right now. Big shout out to Church Street. Big shout out to the Gulf. Everybody down in Barnes Drive. Shout out to Bouton, Etongs, Margaret Tooth, Belfont. Everybody hoping that you're having a good night. We want to shout out St. Vincent as well. We always have our wonderful guests in St. Vincent. That's Miss Fancy. She's always keeping it locked to our program. So good night to you. Good night to those of you joining us for the first time on our live. We have live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Our Facebook live chat is on. Good night to you, Ebony. Good night. I welcome you to our program. First time I'm seeing this name. Thank you for joining us. We want to say good night to everybody who is locked onto the program tonight, and we're going to hope that more persons are going to join us. Let me see if I remember how to use some of my technical skills. Let me try to get our guests up on the screen. I might need some help. Can you put him up on my screen for me, please? Right, our guest tonight is Major Cyril Saltibus, who is the more recently appointed administrative manager of the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation. Okay, I think. Okay, so yes, our tech is going to work on it virtually. All right, so we're going to have Mr. Cyril is up on the screen. There you go. Wonderful. There's that smile. All right. So I want to say first off, happy International Men's Day to you, Mr. Cyril, and happy International Men's Day to all our men listening, those of you locked on. I hope that your day was indeed a deserving day for that title, International Men's Day. I hope you felt it today. I hope you felt the love. Please tell me you felt the love today, Mr. Cyril.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting to feel it. There's a nice dinner waiting for me there. So I just came from work.
I appreciate you giving me that time.
Yeah. Well, we had a nice hectic day at the foundation, as we normally do. Getting things done for the community of Soufriere. It was a nice International Men's Day. Sadly, we lost one of our more prominent St. Lucians on that day. Yes. Mr. Bellas, and it's a sad moment for one of us, but we're still remaining in good spirits, and since if I can use this opportunity to just say condolences to his family on this platform. But yeah, it's been a good day.
All right. I want to echo your sentiments as well regarding Mr. Bellas. I did see that message this morning. So our deepest condolences do go out to his family, friends, loved ones. But in a way, it's almost a deserving day to go. I says there's certain days like All Souls Day, All Saints Day, International Men's Day. These are the kind of days when you go, so people can remember you all the time because they remember you on those days specifically. So in a way, it's almost like it was a tribute to his life that he left on this day. So, hopefully that it will keep people in mind of him whenever they come across International Men's Day. They'll remember him. Hopefully that's how it's going to happen. So
Yes.
we're going to start off a little bit. I want to introduce you to the public for those who are not aware of who you are. I started by calling you Major Cyril Saltibus, and I'm hearing persons calling you that all the time. And I've been trying to get more of a sense of what it is. I know it has something to do military, kind of military wise. So can you explain to us where the title of Major comes from? Major Cyril Saltibus. What is that?
I'm a member of the St. Lucia Cadet Corps and have been for a long, long, long time. I think maybe 30 odd years going. I'm one of the more senior officers. Yeah, the rank structure is that when you join the Cadet Corps, you're a private, then you go Lance Corporal, Corporal, Sergeant, just like the police. Then you go to Second Lieutenant, Lieutenant, then Captain, and then you have Major. That's where I am. And above that is Lieutenant Colonel, and then Colonel. So yeah, I've attained that rank, and I it's a nice. I think people call me that rank a lot because of my past role as ADC to the Governor General. And people used to call me Captain Saltibus before when I served with Dimple at Louisi, and with Mr. Errol Charles, it was Major Saltibus. And when you attain the rank of captain and above, your title sticks with you, and it's kind of a nice thing. So that's where the rank came from. As a cadet officer, we get our training from the Barbados Defense Force, Trinidad Defense Force, and after a while, you become a seasoned officer like me, and your title sticks with you.
All right. Well, it was a very much deserved title. So congratulations on achieving that status of major. And I like that it stuck with you. It suits you. So I like the fact that everybody calls you Major Cyril Saltibus. So
Yeah.
there's no Mister for you anyway. It's Major Cyril Saltibus forever. So I love that. And thanks for explaining that to me.
Well,
And
except my daughter, she calls me dad. She refused to call me. She just say dad. I'm not calling you daddy, and that's it.
I need to meet this. Let me tell your daughter if she's listening. Your father talks about you all the time. Just letting you know that.
Well,
Okay, your father loves you. He talks about you all the time. He cannot go a day without mentioning his daughter.
don't bring her on your show though. She will need 2 hours.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I will stay for her. I'll give her an extra hour.
Yeah.
I would love that. All right. So, Mr. Major Cyril Saltibus, we're going to basically introduce you today. So, you're the newly appointed administrative manager. Can you explain to us what's the difference between a regular manager and an administrative manager?
When you have a huge and great organization like the Super Foundation, yes, you have managers managing the different sites and the different departments, and there's a lot of administrative work that needs to be done. You have to manage human resource. You have to manage the maintenance of the different sites. You have to manage communication. There's so all security. So really and truly, my position as administrative manager is to tie up all those different departments together to make sure they function. I mean, any huge department like that does not function on its own. You need a proper human resource department, and we do have somebody in charge of that, but you need oversight to make sure you double check everything. We have a powerful and great security department, but yet, yes, you need somebody to administer over that affair to make sure that people are doing what they're supposed to do. We have communications, and we have a powerful leader in the person of Lovely Sentiment, which is doing a great job. But yes, we need to tie that into what amount of budget they need to operate and stuff like that. So you need to create oversight over all those things. And the most important asset we have at the foundation is the sites, the Sulphur Springs, the Gropito Trail, the Beach Park, Columbet. So we need to manage those sites. We need to see after the affairs of the staff needs, the maintenance of the property, the insurance of both staff and guests and those things. So the whole role of administrative officer comes together, taking care of all those functionary elements of the foundation.
All right. So you have to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Make sure money goes where it needs to go,
And
right?
under the administration of Mr. Ernest Oje, trust me, I do. He's a very a very nice person to work with. A very tough individual, lots of experience, and I'm happy that I report to him. He has a wealth of information. His experience when it comes to managing huge firms and organizations, is second to none, and it profits me a lot to learn from him. And right now he's grooming me nice in my role, and I'm really appreciative of that.
I'm sure he definitely appreciates having somebody to be able to, you know, be able to almost lean on in a way. He can lean on you and be able to say that there is this person that has that responsibility and I can trust them and I can rely on them. And you have that expertise, you have that background, you have what it takes to be able to handle that workload because like you said, you have so many sites to oversee because a lot of people think the foundation is just the Sulphur Springs.
Yeah.
They don't notice the we have the docks, we have the beach park, we also have the Peter Trail, and the Peter Trail in itself is a huge site on its own. So, and not to mention the Sulphur Springs on its own with so many different areas. And I know y'all are always constantly expanding, adding things. I know we have the interpretation center. I believe y'all are building a new pool. So
Let's
there's so
keep that
much.
a secret for now.
Pardon?
No, I said let's keep that as our big secret for now. Yeah, but opening pretty soon. Yeah.
Is it a secret? I think I read it somewhere.
No,
I think it
I'm
was
in
a
the
secret.
grand. I mean, the grand opening and everything is coming pretty soon.
Right,
So yes, you're correct. Yes, yes, yes,
right,
yes.
right. So I know
Um,
there's so much going on.
yeah, I'm kind of happy. I bring a lot to the table, which I appreciate. Imparting my knowledge. I mean, I've served in the position of chief engineer at a hotel, and I bring that because we really need our maintenance departments to beef up a little bit and to make sure we get everything right because we have a lot of sites to manage. From a security perspective, I bring my paramilitary experience there, which and I believe will enhance it a lot. I mean, I've worked at Heineken St. Lucia for 5 years when it was Heineken Brewery, and that sort of periodical maintenance experience I bring with me. And just even when you spoke about the interpretation center, I mean, I was the curator at Le Pavillon Museum for a while. I've been the president of the Museums Association of the Caribbean for 2 terms. So I bring all that experience with me, and I'm hoping to just impart it and make sure that we grow from strength to strength.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I welcome you on board. I know everybody has already welcomed you, but I want to officially give you the Let's Connect welcome. Welcome to the 88.5 family, the SRDF family, the Soufre
Yeah.
family. And we will love having you. And we hope that you're going to be here with us for many, many years. We look forward to working more with you. So let's go into some of the updates of what's happened recently with the SRDF. I know that on Saturday there was 2 inaugural calls at the port, and the SRDF recently launched their magazine as well. So wonderful things happening.
Yeah, I mean, that is coming out of, let me tell you something. Last year, when during my service with His Excellency Mr. Errol Charleston, I sat at the Jimmy's looking at Soufre just collecting all those Jimmys. I mean, it's just phenomenal. So I think the work continues, and the book the magazine we launched kind of chronicles all the achievements of the foundation for the last year. And I must admit, thanks to Lovely and her team. They did a great job in putting this book out there. We're going to have another one pretty soon because the work of the foundation continues. It was nice on Saturday. I was not present myself because you're limited to the amount of persons that go aboard those vessels. But looking back at the reports from Lovely Centennial, it was a great day. Our district rep, and let's not even, our district rep just embraces Soufre so well, and she was there to welcome the captain and crew, and we're gonna keep doing that. We have a few more to come. We're improving the way our pot receives people, and that is just going to augur well for us in Soufre. So it was a great day on Saturday, and as I said, the staff, we're still celebrating. There are a few little issues we have to tweak, and we're going to get it right. But yeah, It was a great day on Saturday. It was a great launch of our magazine, and we're going to just continue adding things to our foundation and our greatness and our successes.
Right. And I also want to commend the staff of SRDF in terms of the status of the jetty, because we do know that we recently suffered a lot of damage after Hurricane Beryl. And when I saw the footage, because I myself was not present on Saturday, but when I saw the footage of how the dock looked, kudos. That's a big difference from the last time I was on the jetty after I think maybe a month after the hurricane was the last time I was there, compared to that to Saturday. Big difference.
Yeah.
Wonderful job. Definitely have to give the staff a big hand for that one. Y'all did a great job with that. And I'm sure the guests probably would not even have noticed that there was anything amiss with the jetty at that point, because nothing looked wrong at all. I from what I could see. So I must say, wonderful job, wonderful job. So
Well,
all those works on it, good job.
let me just say thanks to Mr. Lysander and his team. I mean, he did it. I joined the organization when 2.5 months ago, and those jetties were just there, not done yet. And he got the contractors on board. He got the work done. He supervised it, and now we have one, two, three jetties. One don't belong to us, but we did some work on it as a fisheries. So we worked on all three jetties, get them ready to receive our guests. And the good news is that we're getting the main jetty ready for the 1st of December. Okay, we thought it was not going to be repaired, but through the collaboration with the another agency, a sister agency, work starts on it tomorrow, coincidentally. So that whole area is going to be closed off, and we're going to be building a bridge that connects the two stronger parts of the jetty, eliminating the damage to it. So on the 1st of December, maybe on the 2nd, we will see that jetty reopen to receive more of our guests coming to Soufriere. And we do need the space.
Wonderful, wonderful. For sure. We
Yeah.
definitely need the space, because I think I saw they're expecting over 800 port calls for the season. I might be wrong on
And,
the number,
and
but
climbing. And climbing, because Soufriere is just becoming the haven and the gateway to tourism
that
for the
is
country.
amazing. So once again, for those who did not hear me, over 800 port calls for this season. So
Mhm.
that's just wonderful, and I hope the vendors are taking note. I know we have the hospitality ambassadors being trained right now so that they
Yes.
can be on board for the season, which is wonderful. We had them last season, and they were a big, wonderful addition to the team. So I'm looking forward to having them back on board as well. And then we're heading into the Christmas season, so we know all
Yeah.
hands have to be on deck. That's one of the busiest, most trying times for us. And sometimes we definitely have a lot to look forward to, but we also have a lot to make sure we keep our eyes on at the same time. So I know you're probably going to be making sure your staff is up to point, trained. You're maybe getting in. Are you anticipating any seasonal employment opportunities for any? I know we have a lot of unemployed persons who might be interested in something like that. I don't know if you have anything seasonal coming up that we can speak about.
Well, before I go there, um, just let me tell you that our we up to capacity, but another thing we can speak about maybe at a different time is our Hope Project, where we actually look at the unemployed in Soufriere, and also our social development committee, where we look at the unemployed and try and place them. And I must admit, through the assistance of our district rep, I really cannot stop talking about this hardworking lady. Through her assistance, I mean, she's at us every day to make sure we speak to those unemployed people, get them into our offices. And I'm talking about the Hope Project, huh? And the social committee, to make sure we document those people, call the business places and find employment for them. And also at the foundation, I mean, just last week we employed two more persons to add to the complement of our security team, and we're going to keep doing that. As long as the demand rises, we're going to fill the spaces. It's not that we don't run a skeleton shift at all. So if the demand says, hey, we need more persons, we sit down and find out whether we can find the money to pay them, and we do that. So that is something we're going to continue to do all the time.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Once again, big up to Honorable Emma Hippolyte, and especially on the Hope Project. Project Hope is near and dear to her heart. I know that for sure. So I want to encourage our young people who are listening, and to the parents of the young people who are listening. We want to make sure that there's one issue I know I want to speak on in terms of persons who we've registered for different programs, or we've taken the information for different programs. When we try to contact them, there is a big issue. We have a lot of unanswered phone calls,
Yeah.
phones going straight to voicemail. We're not getting you on WhatsApp, or we're sending you WhatsApp messages and you're not responding. We need persons to be realistic with these things. You cannot seek help. Then when we're calling to offer you the help, we cannot get you. We
Yeah.
get that too often. We need persons to check on their phones, try to maintain their numbers, or come in and check in with us. If you have not heard from us in a while and you know you're registered for something and you have not heard from us, it's probably because we're trying to reach you and we are not getting you. We get that all the time. We have lists, long lists of unanswered calls we're getting. So I want to encourage persons who have registered. If you know you've registered for Hope and you have not heard anything, because we've had a Hope launch, we've called persons to come in to get their Hope t-shirts. I have a pile of Hope t-shirts that have not been collected. So I know for sure there are persons we've tried to reach and we have not gotten. We've been trying to seek out persons for internships, for job placement, for training, for scholarships, for different things, and we're not getting you. So I want to encourage persons, check on your phones, make sure
Yeah.
you're returning missed calls, or you're taking note that a number tried to call you, or that you are maybe only available on WhatsApp. Please check on these things and follow up. Come back to us. Let us know you change your number or something. Because it's sad to see we have so too many persons. Look at the situation with crime now. We know the young people are frustrated. We know you're frustrated. We can see that. But we want to alleviate some of the frustration whatever way we can. The district rep, the foundation, the social development agencies, everybody is doing their due diligence, but we need to be able to reach you. Well,
Let me just use your show to let's connect to connect with a few people, right? And let's go back to the arrival of guests in Soufriere. We need to speak to the young boys and girls included. The harassment of guests is something we can do without. We really need to do it, and we need to try and connect to them. And even speaking to, let's say, our authorities, the police, everybody, when we see those people doing things, I don't want them arrested. We don't want them harassed. But I think we need to have a conversation with them. Try and better their lives. Give them a job. If somebody is harassing the guests by selling a few chains, I would recommend that we build them a little booth and make it nicer for them to get their business going, as opposed to throwing them off the street. So the young boys and the young girls, if you don't have a job, come to us. We'll have a conversation with you, whether it's for the Hope Project or for the foundation. We will do something. But we cannot really break the arm that's feeding us. The tourism is bringing a good dollar to the country, yet we harass them when they land, and we can do without that. And also, let me just connect to the young boys and girls in the Hope Project. I mean, I've interviewed a few of them, and I've given a few of them a little pet talk. You have some of them coming to a job interview not properly clothed, the hair not combed, you need to, there's a lot of things you need to do to yourself to make yourself really presentable, and live up to your good family name and the good name of Soufriere also. So I just want to reach out to them. The Hope program is there to assist. The foundation is there to assist. Our social programs are there to assist, but take advantage of it. Don't shy away from it at all. So I'm hoping that we have another show one of those days, just to connect to those young people and tell them how they can improve on getting a job and maintaining a job.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that 100%, especially after the shooting yesterday at the square in Castries. I started thinking about it. I read one comment on I think it was Loop News, and a woman who was present at the square, and her son had already been killed, and then she witnessed that shooting and her comments on it, and and it touched me. And it's sad to see we losing our young men so viciously, so violently. and it's like, what is there to look forward to? It's so close to the Christmas season when you have to be afraid just to walk by the square, or afraid to go to shop, or afraid to go to the stores. We're going to see a decline in business over that sort of thing, and that's not good for businesses who are going to we don't want businesses to shut down. We don't want people to be fearful. We don't want our kids to live in that fear. You used to think it was something so far from us. It was something in the America, it was something in Jamaica, it was something in Trinidad, but it's so close to home now. You cannot even say, because one of the things I said to myself yesterday, I said that could have been me walking next to the square in Soufriere, and I would hate for that to be the case in Soufriere.
Yeah.
You cannot
What?
say it's happening in Castries or it's happening in Viewfort. It could happen anywhere. St. Lucia is small. It's just a bus ride away, a motorcycle ride away at this point. And it happening in broad daylight. You cannot even say it's nighttime anymore.
Yeah.
So we need to
What can I say? What can I say
understand
about it? Is that was rather unfortunate. But if the rest of our community can just learn from us in Soufriere, I mean, we are a peaceful community. We have a rep in the person of Emma Hippolyte who actually connects with everybody. And I think if we keep treating, I mean, I remember growing up in Soufriere where if you did something wrong, you got a call out from the neighbor,
Yeah,
you know,
and when you go,
and
you
you
get to
don't and you don't want your parents to know about it because you're going to get a second one. And I think we can start bringing it. We can speak about those things a little later. But our foundation is trying to re-energize groups, re-energize clubs, re-energize all those little government organizations to try and bring back that kind of lifestyle. And I think that is what's missing in the other communities. Maybe that is why you have young boys doing what they do. But as I'm saying, rather unfortunate. But I think there's a lot the other communities can learn from us in Soufriere. The way we do things, the way we connect with people on our show, Let's Connect, the way our district rep goes around making sure that she cares about everybody, whether you green, yellow, black, or anything. I think that works. And a strong message to those people that did that thing yesterday, if they can turn themselves in, because I would hate to see what can come out if they have to be chased by the police. They really round out,
many
they
of
did
the
a big
deceased
wrong to our society, and they need to come clean with it. But it's rather unfortunate. But we don't want that in Soufriere. I don't think it's going to happen in Soufriere. That's why we are reaching out through our Hope Project, for our different programs, to make sure we get everybody on that straight and narrow and bring back family life into our society.
That's right. I want to take a moment to give a shout out to those of you who are on our live right now. We want to shout out Miss Phaedra. Good night to you, Miss Phaedra. Miss Cheryl, Miss Philomena. Good night to you in Bhutan. Good night to you, Miss Agatha Nicholas. Good night to you, Miss Emmanuel, all the way from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so very much for always keeping it locked to Let's Connect on 88.5 SoufriereFM. Akim wants to know, is there any clubs to be launched for the youth? I do believe there are quite a few, actually, Akim. If you would take a look at either the Soufriere Foundation's Facebook page, because I know you have access to the internet, Akim, either the Soufriere Foundation's Facebook page or the 88.5 Soufriere FM's Facebook page, as well as the Soufriere Constituency group Facebook page, you will see there is a link to the different sites. But when I get off air, Akim, send me a message. I can send you a direct link as well. You do have my number, but you can reach out to me. Those of you who don't have my number, 731-3234 for the Soufriere Constituency office. I can send you a direct link to the clubs to see what clubs are available. I know there is the flower groups, La Rose and La Marguerite. And I remember that one because it stood out to me. That's one of my favorites. So I can remember that one, but I'll have to brush up to tell you what others are there. Okay, no problem, Akim. Wonderful for joining us.
If I can just add to that, Ms. Charles, which heads our community liaison department, we're actually going to the different communities in Soufriere to kind of breathe some new life into the clubs. A lot of clubs, have died off, and they've gravitated into just having teams. We have a lot of football teams, a lot of cricket teams, netball teams, but club life, what I remember, growing up, as a little boy in Soufriere, and then most of my life in Vieux-Fort, club life was where you had, your president, your vice president, your welfare officer, your fundraising activities. You had little sessions here and there, a beach party there and there, to try and bring our community together, which lends into the big Kudme thing, which I think we're going to talk about later. That brings the community together. And Mrs. Charles and her team right now, we are actually moving into the various communities. We're going to be joined by the district representative, who wants to be involved in those things, rightfully so, to really get the administrative of the executive of all those teams running again. Okay, and even if we are even suffering when it comes to the football league, because if you're not properly constituted as a club, you really cannot take part in the FA competitions. So the foundation is trying to assist in getting those clubs back and running, so we can have vibrant club life again, which will reduce on young boys having nothing to do. So praise God for our liaison department, our community liaison department headed by Miss Charles. They're doing a very good job. But you were speaking about the groups a while ago, and yes, let me just tell the young gentleman who asked the question. We have Girl Guides, we have Scouts,
Oh, I
we
love.
have the cadets and so forth. But
Mhm.
we're launching. I mean, when I was national volunteer coordinator during the term of Dr. Kennedy Anthony, he made sure that our office had volunteer chapters in every community, and that have died off a little bit. So
Yes,
we,
that's true.
we are relaunching our Soufriere volunteer chapter under the umbrella of the foundation, and the registration is out there. If you go to our site right now, you can scan the barcode, and it will bring you to all the information where you can join. So as you spoke about the Lawas, we have the Stillban group, and there's a big thing happening on Friday. I'm going to talk to you about it again in another launch by the foundation. So yes, just to answer the gentleman's question, we are interested, and we are spearheading it, and we are nurturing all those clubs to give rebirth to them.
Awesome. I want to shout out the Peter Management Area Club, who spearheaded by Mrs. Joan Hippolyte, who is currently in charge of the PMA. So Peter Management Area Club, I know over the summer they had a wonderful program and well attended by some of the youth of Soufriere. So shout out to the PMA Club. Akim also mentioned Pathfinders Club. I think Pathfinders is from the SDA Church, I think.
Yes, it's the Adventist Church. Yeah, it's
Right?
on the it falls under
And
them. Yeah.
also he did mention the cadet corps as well. In regards to the steel pan club, can they teach me to play steel pan at my age? I don't know if that's possible. I wouldn't mind learning the steel pan.
I want to learn to play split pan. So anybody, I mean, I am learning every day. So yeah, I'm trying
Yeah,
to
because
I'm
I
trying
used
to
to be
get back into playing
a
my
fan of
guitar again.
racing
So yeah,
quadrille up until I was at convent. I was in quadrille from preschool till convent. I was in quadrille. I've danced as a man, I've danced as a woman, both ends, and I loved it. I love all that cultural aspect of our society, and I don't want it to die. So I love
yeah,
La Marguerite, I love La Waz. Steel pan is some of the best musics between steel pan and the saxophone. I don't know which one is the nicest instrument, but
yeah.
those instruments, if I could learn to play them, I would definitely do that. I would spend my free time doing that. I used to
Mhm.
be a scout when I was younger. Loved it. I loved going camping. So, these are the type of things I want them to bring back for sure.
But let
But there
me
was,
let me
yeah.
just tell you something I heard Mr. Ernest Oje said today. With all the clubs we trying to, well, not trying to, we are re-energizing. He said that look, we want to have sporting events throughout the year. So we're gonna have football competitions, cricket competitions, netball competitions, and even the grassroots domino and draft competitions. And something that we didn't even speak about, but on my way up from work today, I'm there thinking, when last did we see a community street closed off and we have a skip competition or a Chinese skip, jackstones?
I
Those
have
are things
did
of,
that since I was in primary school.
and we have to bring it back because we have to really bring it back. And those are things, I mean, the younger children are going to love. My daughter does those little things at school, but I think they're kept just on a school base, so we can bring
Yeah.
it back to the community as long as you get some good prizes and create an atmosphere where people can learn from it and groom themselves and exercise. I think we're going to get it done, and I'm very happy to hear the executive director saying that is the direction he wants to move into when we talk about club life and so forth.
Mhm. I think one of the things we need is a space for that type of recreation, somewhere wholesome, somewhere where people can gather, where they don't have to, they feel safe, where they can have access to whatever avenue they want to have access to, whether it's books, it's art, its culture, something we need a space for that. I think that's something we definitely have to
And that space
develop.
might be coming, but I would love for Honorable Emma Hippolyte to be the one to be speaking about that when next she's on your show. I don't want to steal her thunder when it comes to spaces
I'm
like that.
definitely going to tell her she'll have to come on very soon to talk about that. All right,
Yeah.
so let us touch a little bit on Kudme. I did in the beginning of the show congratulate and thank all those who came out. We've had quite a few communities, especially the SRDF and the Soufriere Constituency Council, who did a lot of cleanup. I saw you on the first day with the painting next to the wall next to courts, planting the palm trees, doing some of the cleanup in the square as well. So kudos to everybody who was involved with the Kudme. Let's talk a little bit about Kudme and what it means, the essence of Kudme and why we do Kudme.
Yeah, well, that is something that has been lost. And I must admit, let me just go back a little bit, that we are beginning to spoil volunteerism in Kudme, where you have major organizations offering to pay people right now in the name of volunteerism. Volunteerism and money should not go hand in hand.
They defeat
Yes, you
the
need to
purpose.
buy food. Yes, you need to buy gloves, but this should be the responsibility of mother organizations who want to get the equipment so people can volunteer. You must never offer people $500, tell them, come and volunteer for me. It is not volunteerism.
It's
It's
not
actually
volunteerism,
employment.
it's bonks and
Right.
draw. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm happy that Honorable Emma Hippolyte, spearheaded this great thing. It was nice. I mean, the SRDF, we did this house on High Street, which was, I don't know if you remember, there's a house on High Street that was just,
Really
in
falling
a
on
mess.
the road.
When you go there right now, you can count the stones and pin them if you want to, because they're beautiful. And just happy to have my partner Giovanni and my daughter help in painting the corner by cots. I mean, it was their design, so I'm real proud of that. And we spent the whole day doing that. We also were involved in the foundation got involved in week number 2 in pressure washing that entire wall that once housed the old girls school. So it was nice to see Soufriere coming alive, and not just on the first day. We've been running now for 3 weeks, and
Right.
I'm hoping this thing can continue every month, where we can target specific areas to keep our community of Soufriere clean, keep it painted and beautiful, and use that opportunity to go house to house, especially in the Christmas season, just to spread some love and cheer through volunteerism. We need to bring Kudme back together. We must. And that is how, that is what built those were the cornerstones of building communities. I mean, when a son or a daughter left their home, it's the family and the community who came together, cut wood, and put Blue Mango together and build a house for them. We are losing that now that we have cars and big jobs. But we must come back with that. We must keep our community clean. We must keep it tidy. We must keep planting trees. And kudos again to our district rep for being interested. I mean, she called me once to tell me, look, Cyril, we have to put trees everywhere. We have to plant flowers in our community, and we have to get responsible people to water it and keep it beautiful. Because that again enhances tourism in our communities. So Kudme was a great day for us, the first Sunday. I mean, that bouillon went down well after a while, you know, and the juice. So it was just nice to see Honorable Emma Hippolyte herself go in and visit every one of those sites and getting her hands dirty also. Mr. O'Shea, our executive director, on the ground with us, giving us direction. That was just wonderful. And the staff came together with their children, it was just nice to see everybody on board. But what's great about it is that it continued rather even last week Sunday. And I suspect it's going to continue, going forward. And it's a good thing for us to keep practicing. When we have launched the Soufriere volunteer group, we're going to use that as a catalyst to get children more involved, to continue doing volunteerism, sometimes maybe every week. So I'm very proud of the organizers, very proud of Honorable Emma Hippolyte for spearheading that program, proud of all of us who got involved, and thanks to our communication department also for getting the photographs out there, getting the videos out there, so the rest of St. Lucia can really see what we're doing. And I'm hoping that the other communities can mirror that type of energy that Honorable Emma Hippolyte and Team Soufriere is putting out.
I agree with you on that. Definitely, I saw one comment on some of the posts about saying they wish Denry would do that. So somebody from Denry saw the post and said they wish Denry would do this. So definitely, we hope to inspire other communities to carry on a Kudme spirit, and
Yeah.
I think, like you said, the volunteerism. Because I remember when, I don't know if you knew Miss Simone Mondesi. She's deceased at the moment, but she was the one who used to bring people out to volunteer, because I remember I have volunteered at events in Soufriere. I've worked security, I've worked in the bar voluntarily. I had a volunteer St. Lucia t-shirt I used to wear to events just to come and just to participate, because they need the help, and just to have a sense of we accomplished something today. Because sometimes you go through the day and you don't feel like you accomplished something, and that's why I always used to do it. I used to do it so that I can, okay, I did something today. I definitely did something. I made a difference. Somebody benefited from what work was done today. So I don't know if it's just me, but that's how I feel about it. I don't know if other persons feel that way about volunteering as well.
A message goes to all our young boys and girls in Soufriere, especially those of you who want to go to university. That is a pre-requirement. You need to put up volunteer hours to get your results. All right. So when you volunteer, I mean, while I was national volunteer coordinator, I mean, the amount of people who came to me, Mr. Saltibus, can you please sign my volunteer hours for me, because it is needed by the university, because
Right.
you have to do volunteer work. So it is an important part of life on its own. And it's good to know that your country can depend on you also when you have a certain skill. Volunteerism teaches you a skill. I mean, no surprise there. The foreign minister for Taiwan visited St. Lucia, I think, 2 weeks ago, and the foreign affairs department just called me to do some work on the airport. So before I went to work early morning, I was in the airport volunteering my time, because I have a certain skill set that I learned while I was national volunteer coordinator. So I went on the airport in Vieux did my work, had time to rush back to Soufriere to work for 8:30. Nobody missed me at all. But it's all in the spirit of volunteerism and giving back to your country. And people recognize you. They recognize your worth. If you're a volunteer, and I hope the young people are listening, when you become a volunteer and people see you working, take your photographs. Don't mind what people say you're trying to show off, like people say about me sometimes. Take your photograph, post it. When you enter that interview room, it resonates in the minds of the interviewer that he remembers seeing you doing some work somewhere. And
You
and most people want to employ people who volunteer, people who give up their time for the love of their country. So never stop posting your volunteerism. Never stop boasting about it. Do it with pride and joy, knowing that you're setting an example for the younger ones to come.
Yes, you'd be surprised at the people where they recognize you from. Sometimes you never know who is watching you when you're doing your volunteer work, and somebody who is a big manager in a CEO somewhere, they
Yeah.
recognize you, and then they pull up on you in an interview, and you're like, oh, I know this person.
Yeah.
You never know where you meet people. That's what networking is about. That's what volunteerism. That's what giving back is about. There's always good karma comes with those things. Good karma follows those
And
things.
not forgetting it's godly. It's just godly to do that. So, I'm Mr. One of my volunteer coordinators, Mr. Victor Price, he said, it's something you do from the heart. And he always say that, I do it from my heart, because he's always volunteering, doing everything in St. Lucia. And he said he does it from the heart. So it's a good thing for us to instill that in the young people.
All right. Want to shout out the Toastmasters Club. Thank you, Miss Cheryl. So Toastmasters is another group that's I believe they teach you how to do public speaking.
Yeah. And
Yes.
that we're starting pretty soon again in the foundation. We should be having our first, group session pretty soon. Again, kudos to Mrs. Charles and the department. And it's a good thing. People don't understand how important it is. Sometimes a mic comes in front of you and you start to speak garbage. Sometimes you're in a room and somebody asks you to say something and you just say nothing at all. And let me just say that boldly. I was in the room with the new tourism ambassadors, and there was just one person with their head down all the time, and maybe it's because she's afraid to be noticed because you may ask her a question. And so even all our ambassadors should try and join up our Toastmasters group so they can speak properly. Because one thing, a tourist asks you a question, you can't answer them, or you're not properly informed, or you're not bold enough to say, I really do not know. but I'm going to come back to you in 5 minutes. Let me ask a colleague. You have to learn how to say even the fact that you don't know things. But choking on yourself and not knowing how to speak, how to look somebody in the eye and communicate and stuff like that. We're going to be teaching all that in our Toastmasters program. So that is going to open pretty soon. And we want every young and old person in Soufriere to be part of that.
Awesome. Wonderful. We have a
Now,
question.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. It's your question.
Yes, there's a question from Akimaz again. He's questioning what is the plan of the foundation for the, I think you mean dilapidated buildings and abandoned buildings. I don't think that's necessarily something that the foundation has to be in charge of. There is agencies in charge of the buildings. I mean, if the buildings have owners, if they're owned by the bank, if they're owned by the private entities that own them, I don't think that's I well. If, is there anything the foundation can do regarding dilapidated and abandoned buildings?
Yeah, I can answer him there. We cannot trespass on private property,
All right.
right? But I remember Mr. Oje telling us, look, let us write to those homeowners, let's write to those business places and tell them, hey, can you paint your building? Can you beautify it? Can you do something with it? Because again, it's one Soufriere, it is our Soufriere. So again, it's a conversation. I see nothing wrong in doing that. I mean, Barbados have a good program with the National Trust where if your building is one of those old antique buildings, there's a fund, that will attract a little bit of renovation in your house to keep it just as pristine as it is. And one day, who knows, we can do that. I mean, it's about us having a conversation with our great honorable prime minister and tell us, hey, can we look at some funding to maintain some of our old houses, because that's what the tourists come to see. That can happen, but we really cannot trespass. Even the house that we broke down, the old dilapidated house that we broke down, we had to seek permission from the owner who was in London to tell her, hey, this house is a mess, it's going to hurt somebody, can we clean it? And she gave us permission. So you really cannot encroach on people, but we can have a conversation and tell you, look, it benefits you as a business person to paint your building and to put a St. Lucian flag on it and to put your flag on it to beautify Soufriere. So to answer Akim, I don't think there's the foundation don't have legal standard to do anything, but we have a good communication department, and so we can have a conversation with them because that's what the foundation wants. We want a better life for everybody in Soufriere, including housing, including beautification, including everything. Yeah.
I had a thought as you spoke about with the trust, because I think I've heard of that where you can repair and to keep the look of those old time buildings. I know a lot of them have burned down, but I was just thinking, what if we could incorporate something like that with a walking tour of Soufriere, where you can visit those structurally sound old time architectural buildings that we've spruced up, and we've maybe put a plaque with the story of that building, and so you can have a tour where you go and you visit and you can say this building was erected in 1700 and it was the old plantation house and
Let me
that
stop you
sort of
there.
thing.
I want to find out whether you have a bug at our office, because just last week, yeah, just last week.
I don't think I do. I may have dreamed it, maybe.
Yeah, well, I can just tell you, just last week, the Honorable Emma, he put it again, and that name will keep coming up because, Mr. Oje, our executive director, a team from the tourism department, the police, everybody, we were in Soufriere just discussing security issues, and that came up. So we are moving in the direction of having not just it will be a walking tour of Soufriere. We even looking at one day a possibility of those nice little horse carts, like you get in Cuba, to have a nice tour of Soufriere. And yes, you'll be able to stop at the old coconut factory where a plaque will be laid on the history of that. Yes, you can go to Diamond Falls area and know what happened there, and especially some of the old houses that were built, with all the wooden pegs connecting wood together. Yes, to answer your question, the fact is yes, we are looking at it. We are right now trying to look at the path and which houses and which buildings we are going to maintain as those structures for the whole tour of Soufriere. So that is under consideration by the foundation.
Okay. while we were speaking about, especially if you put a plaque at somewhere like the copper factory or somewhere
Mm.
like a building in town, what I want to encourage our Soufrierians to do, we need to take more pride in the appearance of Soufriere, because we keep cleaning up areas where people are living and dumping garbage, just littering discriminately. We erect signs, and within hours, the signs get vandalized. Our St. Lucians, our Soufriere people, they need to take more pride in the appearance of our country, in the appearance of our surroundings, of our environment. We need to keep it clean. We need to be acknowledged, cognizant of pests, vectors like rats, and all the things that come about with the littering and the garbage and the destruction. Take pride in your surroundings. We don't have to keep cleaning up palmies or cleaning up the square or cleaning up the areas. If the persons who are frequenting the area can keep it clean themselves, there are bins everywhere. Everywhere, every corner you turn, there's a bin. But yet still we have to be cleaning the streets and the gutters and everything every day. We have issues with flooding. We have all these type of things that come up on a regular basis. And then we still have to be the put it on the responsible groups like the foundation and the district rep and the council to come and clean up the mess. We need to have some pride in ourselves as well. So I want to encourage those of you listening, please, we need to get to this point where we're so happy to walk down the streets of Soufriere because they're clean and they're nice and they're on wonderfully displayed to us, wonderfully displayed not just for the tourists but for us as well. We need to be able to enjoy our own environment.
Very, very, very good. Let me tell you, before our time, I see our time creeping up on us, and there's something I need to announce for
Go ahead,
this
go ahead.
Friday. This Friday, I think, is St. Cecilia's Day,
The 22nd. It
or is it Saturday?
was 22nd Friday.
Right. And we're gonna have a nice setup by the market. So we're going to be celebrating St. Cecilia's Day there. We're going to have a big band, music, vendors going to be there for your food and your drinks. So on. We're inviting the entire Soufriere, population, including Sozel and ancillary countries, come down to Soufriere to celebrate St. Cecilia's Day. But more exciting is the foundation of taking a decision to launch Soufriere's very first orchestra,
Ooh.
right? Now I don't know what name it's going to be called yet. Whether it's going to be called Musique Orchestre Le Piton or the Soufriere Foundation Orchestra or the Soufriere Orchestra. I do not know what name between the Honorable Emma Hippolyte and Mr. Oje they're going to decide upon, or whether we're going to make a competition about the name. But on Friday, which is ironic, St. Cecilia's Day, Feast of Musicians, we are going to launch our orchestra. So the instruments are going to be on display. Some of the students are going to be there to play some of them. And we're going to have a few speeches by our Honorable Emma Hippolyte, by Mr. Ernest Oje. A few of us are going to say a few words. And this is going to be a great day for Soufriere, the launch of our very own orchestra. So when we have huge events in Soufriere, in our hotels, our graduations, we call upon the foundation and we book our orchestra. Our orchestra will be there to stay. It will be a permanent fixture in Soufriere. So under the guidance of Mr. Piper from the St. Lucia Police band, and a few other instructors, we have started the process of registering students and or young persons, and training is going to start pretty soon. So it's going to be a staple, and again, just a big thing for Soufriere. So I just wanted to announce that, to invite everybody down to the square. Sorry, not to the square, to the market on Friday. Celebrate St. Cecilia's Day, the Feast of Musicians and Music, where we're just going to launch this wonderful project of ours. It's going to be great.
What time is it gonna start?
Oh, sorry, 2 o'clock. It's going to start at 2 and ends at 9 p.m. 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it's a lot of activities. Yeah. We're going to have a live band for your entertainment. As I said, the vendors are going to be there to generate some funds and to have us, mesmerized in this whole event. So do show up.
Awesome. Thank you for that invitation. I will do my best to try and get out of work. Let's keep our fingers crossed that I get out of work before 9 p.m. so that I can come in and join. I have one announcement also I would like to make on behalf of the PMA. Let me just. All right. So the Pitons Management Area wishes to inform the residents of Fort Jacques from Mini to Belle Plaine that there will be a series of focus groups outdoor meetings from 2 p.m. on Monday, the 25th of November, along the Belle Plaine Fort Jacques Mini Road. The main purpose of the meeting is to inform residents about the boundaries of the PMA and the green buffer zone. Okay, so that's Monday, the 25th of November from 2 p.m. Belle Plaine, Foster Jack Mini Road. Okay, so a series of meetings will be held, outdoor meetings for residents of Foster Jack from Mini to Belle Plaine, in order to inform you of the boundaries of the PMA and the green buffer zone. All right, so do take note. I want to shout out our farmers and fishermen as well. And I know the musicians are going to have their big day on Friday, but I want to give a special shout out to the farmers and the fishermen, and also all our water taxi operators and boat boys and those persons associated with the green industry, because I know we've had a series of events involving boundaries and different things happening. There was a meeting today. I hope that everybody took the opportunity to attend that meeting today. And I know that there was a series of water tank disbursement that took place last week for the farmers. And I think there was something else. I'm not sure if it was fertilizer or some other type of equipment that was distributed as well. So kudos to the farmers, and we want to especially thank you for our food. Thank you for feeding the nation, both our farmers and our fishermen. We appreciate you, and we want you to keep up the good work and know that we are here supporting you. The government is supporting you. The foundation is supporting you. The fisheries complex is supporting you. The agricultural department is supporting you. We want to shout out the Bellevue Farmers Co-op as well. They're doing some wonderful work. They have an activity happening on Thursday, which 88.5 will be covering. So you will get that on our news, hopefully by Friday or next week, Monday. You'll have more information about that. So we want to just give a special shout out to everybody who showed up today. I want to thank Akim for his wonderful questions. I want to give a special
Don't forget
shout
the
out.
dashing farmers, huh?
The
Don't forget the dashing farmers. There's big things
oh,
happening in dashing in Soufriere, and we can't let that
I
pass.
I want to shout out Nympha Simon, Nympha the Dashing
Uh,
girl. I
uh,
our dashing farmers in Fosajak, big up yourselves, big up yourselves. You're doing some good work in the dashing, and we know our dashing is being exported now. Our bananas are on the shelves in Canada. So big up Export St. Lucia one time, okay? And we want to shout out, like I said, we're doing great things in the green industry, great things in the agricultural industry, great things in export, in customs, in everything. We're having a wonderful year, 2024, the year for St. Lucia. So far, we want to big up everybody. I want to thank Miss Major Cyril Saltibus for joining me on our Let's Connect program tonight. It's been wonderful
you mean we
having you.
finished?
It's like we literally have 2 minutes left. So I want to give you an opportunity. I know you want to shout out your daughter one more time. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to have a final word. Give us your final thoughts for tonight.
Yeah, we went Ava. If she was there, I would ask her to come and say hello. I don't know in what room she is really. Ava, you around? Just come. One thing I want to leave you with is look, Christmas is coming up. And we're involved in decorating Soufriere, yes, but I want every home, every household to actually decorate your own home for Christmas. I'm just going even gonna throw out a surprise. If we can get doors decorated, just your front door decorated, we're gonna give a prize of a wonderful fruitcake for Christmas, right? For the best decorated door, just to get people involved in getting something done. So our Christmas program is gonna be big this year, spearheaded again by Lovely and her team. So let's decorate your own home to enhance the work we're going to do on the square and the Christmas village celebrations. We want everybody to come out. I want to shout out all the managers of the foundation, all the staff, from bottom way up to the top, and a big thank you to Mr. Oje and the board for believing in me. I'm not going to disappoint. I want to become an asset to the foundation going on. But most importantly, all my love and support to the Honorable Emma Hippolyte for just being a mentor. I don't want to talk about that much, but there's certain things Honorable Emma Hippolyte has said to me in the past that have placed me on the straight and narrow, that I can't forget. And she's a great leader. And let us lean on her strengths and her direction to make Soufriere a better place. That's it for me. And let's get together, Soufriere, and help the foundation grow.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, Major Cyril Saltibus. And thank you to those of you who are locked on to Let's Connect here on 88.5 SoufriereFM. Join us next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. for another wonderful guest, another wonderful segment. And until then, have a wonderful week. And we'll see everybody at St. Cecilia's Day celebrations on Friday
Yeah.
from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right. Good night.
Bonsoir, bonsoir.